I don't
Okay.
know why. That was weird.
That's good. I'm glad it worked.
Why are you playing sound effects? Because you're
You know
bored?
what's funny is I can't even hear the sound effects on my end. I just I'm
You
just
just
pushing
do it?
buttons. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
That's
like,
funny.
what did it sound like?
It was like a put
Oh wow.
that last one was at least.
I hope that was I hope that recorded on your end because I'm totally leaving it in if it did because
Yeah,
I got nothing.
that's weird. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. So back in it.
Yeah. Hi everyone. We're just gonna
So
get into this, I
how
guess.
do you want to handle this? Do you want to just do the show? Do you want to talk? Do you want to what? It's
I
up to you.
mean, I can talk.
Okay.
I'm okay, you know. So because we didn't do any announcement, we didn't do anything.
No, no. It was all pretty much just friends and family that knew what was going
Right.
on. Yeah.
Right. So um in April I think we did take the week off because my dad was getting surgery
Hmm.
for his, he had stage 4 colon cancer, and he got the surgery. Surgery went well. It was more extensive than they expected. But so they had to like do more for the surgery was like, oh my God, it was like 10 hours long or something. It was really, really intense, really crazy.
Yeah.
But like he got through it, and they were like, okay, because there's more, you're probably gonna have to do some more chemo and stuff like that. He had already done chemo, radiation, and then the surgery. And he was diagnosed at that point like 11 months before. And so he had the surgery on a Monday, and he was going to be released from the hospital on Friday. So everything was looking good. He was literally like within an hour going to be released from the hospital. My grandparents were there. I wasn't, because he told me not to come. He said he's like, I'll need you when I'm recovering. So I want you to come in a few
Yeah.
weeks when I'm recovering.
Mm.
Um, and I guess he took a walk with my grandfather, and then he came back, and he told my grandmother, he's like, Mom, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And then he did, and he died. Uh, it was incredibly fast. Like,
Hmm.
he wasn't in pain or anything like that. They came in, they tried to figure out like, what was going on, and they think that it just, his body took so much for so long there. He had
Yeah.
gone through so much. Um, and so, yeah, I was obviously uh, shocked and devastated, and it was my worst nightmare. And so I've been living in that sense, like dealing with his affairs, and you know, you've been through this. You've lost, a parent. You're dealing with like the emotions of losing them, but also the logistics.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
like the Yeah, it's so much, there's so many things I'm still dealing with, and I'm still trying to get like, his house in my name so that I can sell it and everything like that. It's just, it sucks.
Yeah. It
Um,
does.
and I'm, I'm okay, like overall, but it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I've been in.
Well, shit. It rained really bad yesterday here. Now no, I don't want people to think that we're monsters. We talked this entire time. It's not like we just
Oh
took time off
yeah.
the show
No, no, no,
and
no.
didn't like speak verbally or online or anything like that. No, we've been in constant contact this entire time. And like you said, it's something that I
Yeah,
had
I
to
talked
deal
to
with
Matt
as
literally
well.
that day. Like I texted you and I was like, my dad's dead, and you
Yeah.
called me because I didn't know what was happening. I truly I was dissociating and stuff. I didn't know what was going on. Like
Yeah.
it was yeah, like I mean, you know, there's there's no good way to deal with anything like that, or right way or anything.
Right.
But I fully broke
Yeah.
in a way that I did not think was possible in like my life, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm still, even like, you know, going and recording this or whatever and like doing this, it's weird to me. Um Everything about my life feels weird now, you know. And there's beautiful parts to it, and there's still happiness, there's still laughter, there's still, you know, it's your life is still there, but it's different. And I can't really explain it other than like if you've gone through it, you understand it, you know.
Yeah.
Like people
This
who have
is
gone through it get it. But yeah.
it's an unfortunate bond that you and I have now because we've
Yeah.
both had to deal with losing parents to for a form of cancer. And I
And
mean
both of
everything.
them, our parents are around the same age, and we were around the same age, correct? I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about it that way, but you're right. We I mean there's a lot of parallels there as well.
Hmm.
And it's not a matter of who had it better or who had it worse or
No,
anything like
no.
that, because you know it's loss, and you know it's not really a comparison. I'm glad that you had a chance to grow up with your dad,
Yeah.
basically, and you guys had that friendship and you had that love for one another, where you can honestly say that he had such a positive effect on your life.
Yeah. For sure.
And you know it's interesting because you know that in a lot of ways it's easy to fall into a headspace of, you know, they're gone and everything that they work towards is unfinished and it's not going to really be finished. But
Hmm.
in a way, the project that he put the most time into is still ongoing, and I would say successful, which is you.
Yeah.
So you know that love that he had for you lives on in you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just it's weird. Even just like talking about, you know, like I mean, people who've listened to this show for years know how much I've talked about my dad or mentioned
Hmm.
something by him. I don't think we ever had him on here, which I kind of regret now in retrospect that I don't have that. You know, I have videos and stuff, but you know, I don't even have like voicemails or anything. I have
Hmm.
our text messages, but and you know, that stuff. But yeah, it's just the hard part for me is I also like you know, it he was my dad, and that's, you know, not something that can be replaced. But it's
Right.
all he was also my friend.
Hmm.
Like we got along um on a different level, and I think because he raised me by himself, we just had a different dynamic. I know, you know, that's a thing that happens with single parents and their kids sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes and sometimes not in healthy ways too. Like that's, you know, that's part of life as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just, and you know, I believe tomorrow is 3 months since he died. So
My goodness.
yeah.
It doesn't even seem like that long at this point. I mean, you know, it's always weird when you and I go so long without talking for a length
Hmm.
of time, you know. Um, but yeah, it doesn't even seem like 3 months.
I know. It feels like yesterday, and it's been a lifetime, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That dichotomy. So, yeah, it's like you said earlier, there's no right way to feel about it. There's no right way to deal with it or even attempt to deal with it. There's no dealing. It's just working towards the next step, basically. Just trudging along, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So, yeah. Anyway,
can't
it's
anyway
weird.
that. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
no, it's like that's how I'm just like, yeah, it's weird. I'm reaching the point now where like it's not as fresh,
Uh-huh.
and other people have kind of, like life goes forward, but I'm still
Yeah.
kind of like, I still like, this is a very present thing for me. It's weird.
Yeah. Like, a while ago, we were just talking and you asked me like, how do you get through this? And I've been thinking about that ever since, because, when I really consider it, I'm not over it. It's just, the best way I can describe it is the moments that you pause are shorter,
Yeah.
because at first it was just moments where I just had a complete, like, I don't even want to call it a panic attack, because, I wasn't like going through the traditional motions of that. It was just like, now what? And
Yeah.
sometimes it just be a whole day of now what? And then
No, I've been feeling that a lot this week in particular.
mhm,
And, the week before was a lot of anxiety. And, it's just, it really just, you know, it depends. It really
yeah,
does. Like, it just depends. It changes. Yesterday I cried in the car, and today I haven't cried at all. So
hmm,
it's just different every day.
yeah,
Yesterday
yeah,
I was sad. I lost Sammy too. Like I had these. I know it's not the same, but I feel like I've lost so much this year,
hmm,
and it's hard. And that my dad's house is next, and that's I've already kind of everything's been cleaned out and everything's that part is done too now, but it's just all it's a lot.
yeah. It is a lot.
And it's heavy, and I mean, I don't really apologize for the heaviness. I don't want to say that to like listeners, because I think that there's like we've always had a lot of vulnerability and discussions like that on the show.
Hmm.
But you know like I know it's probably not easy to listen to either.
It's real.
Like,
It's
yeah.
real. That's just it. It's
And
it's real emotion, and someone else may need to understand that it's okay to feel feelings. It's okay to feel
yeah.
this way. You don't have to
and
rush through it.
and I'm trying to get back in the groove of things, but there's going to be times where I'm like not quite there, and that's part of it too. But yeah, I'm just trying to take everything one day at a time, one step at a time.
That's exactly it. You got to figure out who you are. You got to figure out who you are after this.
Yeah,
And, you
it's
take as
weird.
long as you need to. But I'm glad that you're feeling good enough to talk about bullshit that doesn't matter again with me, because, you
I'm
know, it's cathartic in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Bold of you to assume I've even opened the notes that you emailed,
Oh
but
shit!
okay.
I didn't know that was for my benefit. I threw you on there because I'm like, yeah, I'll be a bro, and give you a preview of what we're gonna talk about
Whoopsies.
tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
So speaking of death, Sinead O'Connor died.
Yeah,
I had to. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Sinead O'Connor. Were you a fan of her music or her?
I was, but like very peripherally. And like I grew up, I was young enough where like just her tearing up the picture of the Pope was like cool and not blasphemous or anything.
Hmm.
And then I listened to You're Wrong About, and they talked about Sinead O'Connor and like the controversy surrounding her and how it was a lot of bullshit and she was, unfairly treated like shit when she was right.
Yeah.
So I feel terrible for her. I know that she lost her son. What was it, last year before, something along those lines, and I don't think mentally she recovered. And I can't imagine what the loss of a child feels like, especially a young child
Yeah.
or a young man. So I feel terrible for her. But I
The
hope she's at
the
peace.
legacy, the legacy that she leaves
Yeah.
behind is just amazing. Just the things that she did, just in culture in
Yeah.
general, the effect that she had, the way that she spoke out bravely, and I mean, so many people came at her
It
for
destroyed her career.
it. It
Yeah.
did because it was taboo to say anything against the church at that time. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can honestly say she's a trailblazer.
Yeah.
And you can say that the effect that she had on these discussions is long lasting, even today. Even without her passing, like, you can't talk about Sinead O'Connor without talking about her ripping up that picture of the Pope on SNL.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just, it goes hand in hand. And she was an amazing performer. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not somebody that I would, put in my playlist per se, but
Right.
you
No,
can't
same.
deny her performance of Nothing Compares to You. And even with that, it was like she was almost bullied about that song by Prince. They butted heads quite a bit about
Yeah.
well, just in their careers anyway. But not to take anything away from her, she's amazing, and we don't know the cause of death at this point.
It's, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty well assumed, like that, anyway.
That she took her own life.
Yeah, the family hasn't said that, but they did ask for privacy. So,
Yeah.
I would assume that was, unless she was sick in some way. And frankly, when someone's sick, even if we don't know it, they usually say, they passed peacefully. The language is usually an indicator of like a press release of the cause of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people talking immediately, like celebrities and people who knew her or whatever, like immediately talking about, mental health and her impact and everything like that. So that's another reason why I think was likely the scenario.
Hmm.
Hopefully we're not unfairly attributing that to her, but regardless, if that wasn't the way that she passed, but regardless, her son did pass of that.
Right.
So
Right.
either way, I think that it's important to address that life is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And, if you are able to treat people with kindness as you navigate this difficult shit and they're navigating this difficult shit, that's all you can do, really.
I just feel like it's unfair, man. Like not everybody, but people of influence gave her such a fucking hard time about just being a woman with opinions.
Yeah.
It just fucking sucks, you know?
I I do think there's a lot of sexism involved with it, obviously. But I also think I do think if a man did what she was doing, he would have faced a lot of consequences too, because you're going up against such a massive infrastructure, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
that's perfect.
and
Like,
you're talking about people's beliefs, and people, are willing to live and die by them, right?
they're very
So
protective. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, so you're already, the idea that I'm basically you can't. I personally can't just attribute that to her being a woman. But yeah, it played. I mean, it was the fact that she was talking about a thing that nobody should be talking about,
Hmm.
and that she was a woman doing it that was like absolutely not.
Yeah. 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 So, of
It's
course,
really sad.
we'll share more as the family shares more, and they feel comfortable letting us know what exactly happened there. But that's a big loss. I think she was, like I said, prolific and man, just so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
How old was she? 57, something like that.
56, I think.
Older than my dad.
Shit. Guys, is a big fan of dark humor. So
You're
don't,
gonna hear dead
you,
dad jokes. It's just a
yeah.
part of it now.
I
Listen,
mean, yeah, for those just tuning in, maybe for the first time, we're not being cruel to one another here. This is,
my dad would think it's hilarious. That's
there
the
you
important part. That's the most
go.
important thing at the end of the day that you guys should know is that my dad would want me to make dead dad jokes. He would think they're hilarious. He'd be like, "Oh my god," and then he'd laugh.
I think I mentioned this on here before, but after my mom passed away, like, before I found this detail out, I would have been like, well, my mom probably wouldn't have found this sort of thing like funny, this dark
Hmm.
humor and everything like that. But as we were going through her things, we found several printed out George Carlin routines that she kept in a folder. So she secretly enjoyed George Carlin's comedy,
I
if you
love
know.
her. I love her so much. That's beautiful. We found jokes that my dad was writing
Oh, wow.
in notes on his phone. I think
Oh,
he was
that's
going to put them on Facebook, but they were very old. They were they were bad too. They were not good.
that Enron situation, Huh?
It
How about
wasn't
that?
it wasn't dated in that way, but like you could see the dates because they were like in the notes app, and it was from 2019 or whatever. And I was like, why are you keeping this? Dude didn't write a will, but he wrote that and kept
I
that. Oh my
mean,
god.
honestly, who among us doesn't have things in our drafts that are just sitting there waiting for their time to shine?
Yep.
Empty those drafts, everybody. Do it while you can. Empty those drafts, even the old ones.
Delete your old emails. That is, if I can offer you
Also,
one tip, delete emails because his inbox is filling up, and I have to go through and manually fucking delete emails all the
oh
time and
no.
unsubscribe him so that I can see if there's an urgent email or something that's
Oh
important.
man.
So that's a thing. You don't think about that, but like seriously, if the email's not important, delete it.
Oh,
Unsubscribe too.
here's something I can warn you about as a friend.
Mm.
And it's a shit sandwich. So be
Is
ready
it
for
about
this.
finding dirty magazines? Because I've already been there.
No, thankfully not that
Yeah.
part. And yeah,
Anyway.
that's not great. Uh, what I was gonna say is when the Facebook hackers eventually make it to your dad's Facebook account, like they did my mom, and try to DM me and
Mm.
ask for money as my mom. I mean, read the fucking room. Read the wall, hacker, and see all the "we'll miss you, Regina's" and "RIP" and stuff like that.
Oh,
Maybe put it together that she's not around anymore and that you are.
I have already had to change his password because I thought someone got into his account, but someone was actually impersonating him, made a new
Uh,
account impersonating him, and then tried to add his uncle or something to it.
yep. So just be ready because the longer it's dormant, you know,
I
they're
need
gonna
to do
try.
that. I don't know how to do it, but I need to do that like archive thing where you can be like, this is a memoriam.
Oh yeah. They they
Lock
they
it.
had they had a feature. I don't know if they have it anymore, but they had a feature on Facebook that you could designate somebody, basically the proprietor of your Facebook estate, if something happened. I don't know. It was a weird morbid thing when they put out the stuff about that, and they quickly moved on because they didn't want people to get like bummed out about Facebook. They didn't want to be associated with that. So I think it's there. I don't know.
I think it is two, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I have his passwords and stuff, so I can get into it, but
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, what's the next
Anyway,
story, Matt?
let's talk about aliens.
Is it about
So
death? Oh no, it's about
it's
aliens.
it's about
Bring on the
aliens.
death.
So there was a
I
there was
am
a
ready for
congressional
them to
hearing.
take over. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
You know, a lot of people are feeling the same way as you are. You know, after dealing with COVID and dealing with, you know, all this student debt and the political climate and everything like that. And basically, it's just telling the next generation that, you know, fuck it, you're on your own because we got screwed over as millennials and we got screwed over as Gen Xers. Sorry,
Yeah.
there's nothing left to impart unto you. Well, people are pretty just laissez-faire about finding out that there are extraterrestrials among us at some point.
Yeah.
So for those that haven't heard, there was a congressional hearing on UFOs, and apparently it was met with a collective shrug. The news
Well,
that
because the guy is crazy. The guy is actually crazy.
most guys are crazy. You know, I
Well,
mean, this
that's very
gotta be a
true.
little crazy to, you know, think the aliens are gonna come get you.
Are you putting
Um,
seal to me?
We're never gonna survive. Unless
Never
we
going to
get-
survive.
That's right. That's right. One of the positive things I can say about the latter two Batman films from the 80s/90s, but we'll circle back to that.
Wait, was it
Um,
that or was it Kiss by a Rose?
Yeah, Kiss by a Rose, but Seal reminded me, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
those last two Batman movies, and when I say last two, I mean Batman and Robin and Batman Forever.
I'd like to
They-
revisit those movies.
They had all the pieces to be great,
Yeah.
but somebody just fit them together with a hammer and some super
Let me tell
glue.
you something. If you're a fucking, 5-year-old child,
Oh yeah.
that those pieces fit together perfectly. That puzzle
Now,
was snug.
I'll admit, I'm a little kinder to Batman Forever than most people are, but I am definitely on the hate train for Batman and Robin because my God,
Yeah, as you should be. He had a Bat credit card.
he had a Bat credit card.
Why did they all have nipples on their suits?
They took George Clooney away from
Except for
ER for
Except
that.
for Batgirl. She didn't have nipples on their suit because they
Well,
knew they couldn't do that.
Because they knew they couldn't get away with that. Like, no, that's too
Yeah.
far. You know,
And to
there's
that, I say, why did you not think that would apply to the men as well? Why
You-
why was that not far enough?
there's a mock-up costume that has Batgirl nipples on it. You know, somewhere
How do I,
in the archives.
I'm Googling Batgirl nipples.
Batgirl. Oh, your search history. R.I.P. It's not gonna
Batgirl
be
movie nipples. It originally had nipples. You are correct.
Hey, look at that. I know dirty minds like Joel Schumacher's.
It does feature nipples, but it looks like they're covered. Like it looks like a
Ah.
bathing suit to the nipple.
covered by the Bat
They
logo.
wanted. It says with Alicia Silverstone, they wanted nipples on her too. They said if the guys have nipples, the girls should have nipples too. After I sculpted it, though, everybody realized maybe not. It was a bit obscene, so we took the nipples off.
Just a bit.
I remember
obscene.
being a child and being so sad that I didn't get an Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl movie or sequel where she was Batgirl because I loved that so much. I loved her.
Yeah.
I like that would have meant everything to me to see her in a movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like
full
it
on.
had so many good parts, so many good details that could have made for a good movie. George Clooney's chin, Chris O'Donnell's eagerness, Alicia Silverstone being Alicia Silverstone in a Batgirl costume. Around that time, at the height of her powers, come on.
A
The soundtrack.
A great Alfred.
Yeah, great Alfred, Arnold Schwarzenegger, action star, doing the performance of a lifetime, ready to get down and clown with y'all with these puns about ice. Listen, that movie should have kicked so much ass. But I feel like somewhere along the way they forgot that they weren't making a toy commercial. Anyway, back to the aliens. All right.
Mhm.
So the Defense Department has said there's no evidence linking UAPs to aliens yet. Many social media users still took the hearing as proof that aliens exist.
Yeah.
So they're not denying that there's some phenomena, also a great movie, or UAPs.
Yeah, and they said non-human, and that's the part where I'm like, well, non-human is literally anything that's not human.
Right. It could be animal,
that could be
minimal,
right, that
mineral,
could be
or vegetable. Yes.
They could have been this crap. Like it could have been a drone that hit a bird, and then they're like, it's an unidentified craft with non-human things on it. That can be a technical way of labeling it, but it could be a fucking like Russian drone or something.
There you go. I mean, look, it could be anything, but I tell you what it is definitely. It's going to fuel so much crackpot behavior. People are going to be seeing UFOs or UAPs or whatever we're going to call them, and they're going to be like, see, this is proof right here. Our government's trying to hide this from us because, the government is always against us. But Lex, I got to tell you, I think this is the kind of distraction that our country needs right now. Because as we go back and forth about, race relations and stuff like that, and back and forth about, of course, trans rights and everything, there's one great unifier. And that's that we need to fucking kick some alien ass. We've all
I thought
seen
you were going to say aliens solved racism, which, by the way, name of the episode.
Totally the name of the episode. Thank you to the little gray men that don't see color for solving racism. I mean, maybe they don't see color. Maybe they don't see color on our spectrum. So they are literally blind to racism. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just spitballing here. But you know what, Flat Earthers? This is now canon. I'm telling you that this is the truth. Believe me.
Aliens don't see color.
That's right. Because I speak with authority and I have a podcast. I'm a man with a podcast. Holy shit. Do you realize how long I've waited to use this privilege? I am a man with a podcast. Hold on.
Now, Matt, don't get too ahead of yourself. You're not a white man.
That is true. Fuck. And you're not a man either. It's got to be two white guys.
It's got to be two white men with an insane amount of confidence that is unearned.
God damn it.
That's the key.
We got to get some guests on this show. We got to get some guests. Mm-hmm.
If anyone is a white man,
we got to get a white man on the show.
Like a white man.
So you heard us right,
that you should be the one to come on the podcast because you'll hear this and go, I should come on the podcast. That is the unearned confidence we need.
Why should the only one who's speaking be you? I should be on your show as well.
You're literally yelling at your headphones right now, trying to respond to us. Do you do that with every episode? Then you are the person to come on the show.
I like to think that there's a woman in a relationship, and their partner begrudgingly listens to our show, but their ears just perked up and they're like, "Ooh, I can be on your podcast. I can be on that show that you like so much, that Lex and Matt. I'll do it. I volunteer."
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, come on, send us some messages or something. Well,
I do feel like we have more female listeners than male listeners, which I consider a point of pride, frankly.
Yeah, same. The dulcet tones that we emit over their airwaves, they like to come back and hear more, and that makes me proud. It's
also because we're quite handsome. That's helps.
True. That's true. We are very handsome.
Yes.
I was going to say messages. No. I was going to say message us on some social media platforms, but you know what? I don't even know anymore. So much has happened in the past 3 months. The entire internet has changed. Just like The Rock said about Black Adam, the hierarchy of the social media universe has changed.
It's about drive. It's about power.
Yeah. We'll get back to him because he's a G. He's a real one. We'll get back to him. Twitter is no more. It is now simply referred to as X. No one's going to call it that. We've all got exes. We don't like to contact them.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what Elon was thinking when he made this decision.
He's apparently been trying to make some website X for a while because he tried to do this with PayPal.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. That's really weird. Why is he obsessed with the name X?
I don't know, but
did he lose a bet?
No, man. It's something stuck in his head. Like he names his kids all these unique titles as well.
Yeah, like xylophone.
Yeah. He's not a great guy, but yeah.
What?
Twitter's not Twitter anymore. So I don't know what we're doing with that. Threads exists. Apparently we have a Threads account because we have an Instagram account, I think.
I think you have to activate it. I don't think it's automatic.
We should probably do
also,
that.
If you delete your Threads account, apparently it deletes your Instagram. Just FYI, people. So if you get one, you're stuck with it forever unless you want to get rid of everything.
You're stuck with it. But you can still delete the app from your actual phone. Just your account will still exist.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. What else happened? So much with the social medias.
Yeah, TikTok lots of stuff did happen. It did. Yeah. It is. Another thing about TikTok, if you save a TikTok, the creator sees that. And I just want people to know that because y'all are saving some of my videos that make me go, why are you saving that?
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes because that little bookmark is down at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen.
By accident. Yeah.
I press it by accident. If I'm sleepy, like I've sent you TikToks previously in the middle of the night as I'm falling asleep, and you'll like respond to it like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't send that to you, but apparently I did. Yeah. It's really strange. It's really weird.
I love when you send me your TikToks because it shows me that we are on two totally different sides of TikTok 99% of the time.
That's ideal. There's a friend of mine who she hosts a TikTok Tuesday on what is it, on Instagram. I don't want to put her name out there because I think she likes to be private, but she does a TikTok Tuesday and she like hosts all the videos that she enjoyed throughout the week. And I'm like, that's great because these are honestly videos I'd never see. Like, oh, they're funny people. That's a
really good idea. I wonder if we should do something. But anyway,
there you go.
but I'm not going to steal that from them. Yeah. Kayla and I have like the same one. And we've joked about like one of us deleting it. Maybe I should, but I don't know.
Well, that's how you found each other, so that makes sense. You know,
yeah,
you got stuff in common.
So true, so true. Yeah. Have I shared that on the show that I met her on TikTok? I don't know if I've ever said that publicly.
I'm pretty sure you have.
I probably have. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you have. But it sounds like we are now. So, huzzah.
Yep. Coming up on 2 years, y'all.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not just a flash in the pan. She's in it to win it, y'all. She in it.
She better be. I hope so. Rent is expensive. I'm just kidding.
Fuck, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Shout out to the spouses that kick in. You know, shout out. Big shout out to the spouses that kick in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's happening. Also, Hollywood is burning. Hollywood is figuratively burning down around itself because CEOs have to
get marginal, they can't take any little percentage off of their fucking profits. So
yeah, they got to get those big bonuses every year. They got to get that second house. They got to get that yacht. They got to pay for their baby mama. They got to pay for their actual wife. They got to make sure that the girlfriend's taken care of. They got to pay that hush money. Got to make sure that your daughter's passion project is funded fully and she gets a full ride at Yale.
Yeah.
But you know who suffers? Who's suffering right now? Everybody else. The writers, the producers, the stuntmen and stunt people, rather. They're all suffering right now. And they're all out there marching in this hot, sweltering fucking heat. It is one of the hottest summers on record.
Yeah, because the world's burning.
The world is burning, especially Canada. So be careful out there. Um,
Especially
but
Canada?
yeah, there's been wildfires in Canada for the
Oh,
past few
right.
weeks.
Duh. I'm so fucking stupid. Yeah, I know about that.
I mean, no
Yeah.
one can blame you. There's so fucking much going on right now. It's hard to keep up about what to be alarmed about. Everything
I'm
is
I'm
alarming.
I'm reaching a concerning level of like, does life matter anymore because it's kind of over? Like pessimism?
Yeah.
Maybe that's being chronically online. I don't know.
I think, I don't want to say that has everything to do with it. Obviously, we have a heightened sense of awareness because, we do the show. We skate, we check the news, and we want to make sure we're
Yeah.
in the know about everything. It's habitual for me now.
Yeah.
After years of doing Mighty Inc. and trying to find all the stuff going on there and scouring Reddit and just being on the podcast, this one and so many others doing Cast Today. My God, I've just become accustomed to just basically feeling like, the scenes where you see, oh my God, I'm about to compare myself to Superman. The scenes where you see Superman just floating above the planet, just listening to everything going on.
Yeah, getting ready to go in exactly where he needs to be.
Figuring out what fire deserves his attention more than the other ones, and then just, still feeling like he didn't accomplish anything. Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody feels that way, not just me. I feel like a lot of folks feel that way because the further we go on in society, the more we are just made aware of every single thing going on around us. Now more than ever, you have so much access to everything and everyone and everywhere. So yeah, it's easy to get freaked out in a matter of minutes just going on the internet. Totally. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to stay in those headspaces for too long. But it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. But to give some context to what I was talking about before with the whole with the strikes and everything like that, of course, the Writers Guild, they've been striking for the past several weeks. I think the last I heard it was over 80 days. And
yes, we're in multiple months at this point, for sure.
Yeah, they want a living wage, of course. The big top two items is making sure writers have a living wage through fair pay and fair residuals, and then also making sure that their work is protected against AI. And a lot of folks are like, oh, that's just so far off. That's just sci-fi. Don't worry about that. Well, in the past week, we've seen job listings at both Disney and Universal for AI specialists.
Yeah.
And this also ties into why the actors are striking as well. Now, some very close-minded people that don't have, much forethought going on aside from their actors, they get paid billions of dollars to do their jobs, which is not always the case. The fact is that these big name actors, the ones who you're familiar with, who do get paid millions of dollars, they're the ones who we want to speak up for the day actors, the day players, the folks who are doing bit parts, the background actors, those type of folks, because AI is also threatening their jobs by offering contracts now that basically say that they will scan your face and they will own your likeness in perpetuity. And you don't get paid anymore after that initial payment.
Which is absolutely insane.
It's absolutely insane. And also the basis of a Black Mirror episode that just came out when this news broke. Have you caught up on Black Mirror this season yet?
I have only seen select episodes of Black Mirror. Because I liked San Junipero, and then I was like, oh, I'll go watch the show. So I watched the first episode. Anyone who's watched Black Mirror knows that the first episode is horrible. And then I said, no more of this. No thanks. and so the new season came out. I was in Florida working on the house and stuff, and Kayla was here. So Kayla watched it because she loves Black Mirror, and she was like, hey, I want to get you into this, but I'll give you warnings ahead of time. So I have watched a couple episodes now. I will say that we watched from the newest season, Beyond the Sea. Fucking fantastic. Like,
Okay.
holy shit. Like, wow. That one blew my mind.
But did you guys watch the one with, oh my goodness, I can't think of her name, the young lady from Schitt's Creek?
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
Okay, all right. That was the first episode of the season, but when you do watch it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And those who have seen it know what I
Yeah.
mean. AI is a dangerous tool when it comes to the creative realm and the opportunities and jobs that it will take away from
Well,
people.
and it's dangerous overall because there are people in tech talking about how we shouldn't even keep doing this. This is like bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. People way more qualified than I am have had this discussion. And I'm sure a lot of people have, done deep dives about it on, TikTok and everything like that to give more detail about it. Now, what I did find interesting and what I want to talk about before I talk about the super petty thing that Universal did, what I find incredibly interesting is the fact that it's also affecting the content creators, the people that you do see pop up on TikTok, like Straw Hat Goofy and a few others that put out content about upcoming films and they do red carpets and stuff like that. SAG-AFTRA is also saying that what they're doing is crossing the picket line in a lot of ways. So they've been given a list of things they can and can't do. Now, initially, zero promotion. Exactly. It's standing in solidarity with, the people that are lauded by these content creators as heroes. It's like, if you really care about me, care about the fact that I need to get paid to keep my family fed. Don't just go, oh, right. Yeah, you got a great movie coming out. So it is fascinating to see the hoops that some of these studios are jumping through to advertise some of these films. Like, for instance, one of my favorites is the Haunted Mansion movie. They had a red carpet for that. And of course, the majority of the cast, none of the cast, I think, was actually there.
Right, because it's crossing the picket line.
It's crossing picket lines. Now, the directors who are on a completely different union, they're able to promote their films and stuff like that. In fact, I think it's written into their agreement that they can't protest, they can't picket, they can't, get out there. So the director of Haunted Mansion is out there, and they actually did the red carpet at the Haunted Mansion at Disney. So they had a sign up basically telling anybody who was at the park that if they wanted to get on the ride and they happened to be in that area, basically this is their consent that they're going to be in the footage of the red carpet premiere of the movie.
Ugh.
Shady shit.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But it's not shady. The trees outside of Universal Studios, the actual movie studios, because those sons of bitches decided to shear, not just cut, shear the trees outside in this sweltering heat where the picketers were spending the majority of their days to try to deter the picketing that was going on. They said, oh, this is unrelated. We just had tree trimming scheduled. This is not related to the protests at all. No, nothing like that. No, nothing about the strike.
I think they're getting fined for it now, though, aren't they?
They are. They're getting fined by the city because the city owns those trees and said that Universal was not allowed to touch them in any sort of way. So they're getting their just desserts. The downside of that is the fine is only $250, but still, it's a token, basically. It's a,
well, it's an acknowledgement that like the city's like, we didn't do this shit. You guys did this shit.
Yeah, we understand who butters our bread here. This is Hollywood. Right. You can't just nobody wants the big conglomerate to win. You've told us stories our entire lives about how we got to take the corporations down. And now you, the corporation, are telling us, oh, no, please celebrate 100 years of Warner Brothers Media. No. You see, it's our 100-year anniversary. You have to respect this. Look at these Funko Pops coming out. Family Matters. They do have Family Matters Funko Pops coming out, by the way. I saw that today.
We're not allowed to promote. No, I'm just kidding.
God dang it. I can't even tell you that the chase for the Steve Urkel pop is Stefan Urkel.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but no. First of all, I am popped out. I'm cut off from pops for the
Yeah,
remainder of
I
my
don't
life.
really like them anymore. Their quality control sucks too.
There's too many. They flooded the market, and when I heard about they were just dumping the excess product in a landfill, like that really rubbed
Ew,
me the wrong way. So
that's horrible.
yeah, I'm out on pops now.
Yeah, I am too. I have no interest in them. I don't even have any more.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for one that I have Garrus from Mass Effect,
Okay.
and he was messed up when I got him, so Ryan fixed him and like added some customization paints on it, so I kept him.
Well, I was going to say that's kind of the thing too. There are certain pops that I have because I still have all of mine. Like I didn't
Yeah,
throw any of them out or get rid of them or
mhm.
give them away.
Like new
But
ones.
I have so many pops that have special meaning to me because people
Hmm.
gave them to me.
Right?
Like our friend Dave Martin gave me a Darkwing Duck pop, and he knows how
Yeah.
much I fucking love them ducks, man. Our friend Jonesy, she gave me a pop of oh my goodness, what is her name? One of the crystal gems, one of the second
Oh
generation
yeah.
crystal gems from Steven Universe. Anyway, yeah, one of my favorites. But at one point my goal was just to collect all the black characters, and I guess somebody caught wind of that, like, hey, these black characters are selling, we should make more of them. And now, thankfully, there are quite a bit available.
Yeah.
But my wallet says that's enough. That's
Yeah. Yeah, and they take up so much space too. That's
they
like,
do.
just like anything else, any other thing you're collecting. Eventually you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah, yeah. And this is how I got roped into vinyl, because it's,
Yep.
the appeal of having something to collect and having something that is functional that you can actually enjoy aside from just looking at it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's like comic collecting, same thing.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
anywho, that was a tangent. Um,
that's what we do.
that's what we do. So I know I said I was going to talk about The Rock. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is a very generous man. We've seen the generosity he's had over the years, just in his life. He famously gave his mother a house just because he promised he'd do that one day. And, he's always doing nice things for, Make-A-Wish and his community and stuff like that, and really bringing out Samoan, Polynesian culture, that sort of thing. He gave the biggest donation to the SAG-AFTRA Relief Fund in history. 7 figures. They won't say exactly
Yeah.
how much it is, but 7 figures deep. This man gave out of pocket
Yeah.
because he wants to take care of his coworkers. And I think that's just incredibly admirable.
Yeah, and that's going to help a lot of people who are, you know, most actors do not make enough money to even qualify for health insurance. That's the statistic I've seen thrown around now. I think it's like 83% or something like that, which
That's right.
is the threshold, I believe, is $29,000. So that's living below the poverty line at this point,
Yeah.
right? Like this, it's so fucking expensive to live now. So
Especially in
yeah,
LA.
that's
Can you imagine? I mean,
yeah.
the majority of these people have to have like 2 roommates at least to survive.
And multiple jobs,
And multiple jobs. Yeah. I mean, it's come out. And what's great about this is that it's giving a voice to so many writers and, background actors that are saying, like, look, I've been working on this show, this big name show. Like, we heard about the guy who wrote for The Bear. And the night that he won the award for the show, he had to borrow money from his parents to afford a tux rental.
Yeah.
And we've heard about somebody who was writing for another hit show that escapes me right now, who basically found out about her nomination when she was driving for Lyft. So it's not all like, gold paved streets like you think it is in Hollywood. They're working hard. They're trying to get by, and they're being treated unfairly. So, yeah, I think it's time for a shakeup. And it doesn't have to come from us, the consumer. Oh no, it should come directly from the billionaire CEO.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're making so much money. It's insane that it's not being, properly paying out people. I mean, this is why we had the writer's strike in 2007. And this is the first time in a very long time both unions have been on strike at the same time, though. So, I mean, it's really, truly shut down. I know some people in the industry who, it's like, I'm out of work indefinitely because they work on crews and stuff. So, that's a really difficult thing for them right now. And I hope that it gets resolved quickly, obviously in favor of the unions, and so that everyone can go back to work and, because everyone wants to.
And it's spreading too. It's influencing a lot of other workplaces too. A lot of other groups, I should say. Yep. The animation people are starting a union now. They're feeling bold and they're feeling ready to get that done. And that's great because I don't know if you remember way, way back when John DiMaggio was talking about not returning to voice Bender on the Futurama reboot. Because he was just disappointed with the amount of money they were offering from Hulu. And he's like, I don't want to be a stickler. And recently he did an interview and he said he didn't get the raise or he didn't get the rest of the crew any extra money or anything like that. But when it came down to it, they were just completely hard-nosed about it. And he didn't want to be the reason that the reboot wasn't successful. So he just kind of acquiesced and said, all right, I'll do it.
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah. I didn't know that.
For real. So, I mean,
I can't believe they brought that show back again.
Oh my God. It's like the fifth time now.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's been a lot of time to fill without doing the podcast, Lex. Been a lot of fucking time, you know, and I know you've been dealing with a lot and I have been fucking vegging out and just absorbing media, which is not great because if these strikes go on the way that I think they're going to go on, we're going to run out of shit to watch after a while.
I don't think so. There's a lot of shit. We've been complaining for a long time that there's too much stuff.
That's true.
I think we'll be okay.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Now, a lot of the stuff that I watched, I'm sure you haven't had a chance to sit down and check out yet, but here's a few things that I highly recommend that I'm just going to speed run through so people get a little taste of where I've been these past few weeks here. So I caught the sale that was happening at Target a couple of weeks ago. I picked up New Super Mario Brothers for the Switch, which I'm sure I've talked about this many, many, many fucking times on here. I don't like when the turtles dance to the music because it throws off my rhythm. And I still hate it. So we're moving on from that. Mario Maker 2, by the way, I purchased that a long time ago and I completely forgot that the game had a story mode. And the story mode is so much fun. That's cool. It's so much fun. You're basically playing a construction version of Mario and he's trying to rebuild Peach's castle. But to do that, he's got to make money. So this fucking union member Toad tells you that you have to go through these levels of different eras of Mario games and collect coins to help build the castle. He's putting you to work, and it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. You all right?
Yeah. Allergies. Anyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played any of those, so.
Street Fighter 6. I'm not usually big in the fighting games, especially Street Fighter, because it feels like the entry level of skill to be good at Street Fighter is the bar is so high. I can't stand it.
I used to beat the shit out of my brother in games, by the way, that were fighting games, because I button mashed. I was amazing when I was a child.
Those seem like the best, but I tell you what, Street Fighter 6 has done a lot to bring back to even the playing field per se, because they have what they call a modern control scheme as well as a traditional control scheme. The modern control scheme allows you to basically set hotkeys to do special moves for these characters. So when it comes to a complicated character to control like Zangief, where you have to do these elaborate, like, joystick maneuvers and like basically drawing letters Z and a U and stuff like that with the joystick. Now you just hold down triangle and you push back and he's doing like hurricanranas and like body slams and stuff like that. It's great. And don't even get me started on the story mode in that game, because you're basically playing Final Fight with a created character with Street Fighter characters mixed in. It's so much fun. I had way more fun than I thought I would have with it. I got it on sale from QVC of all places, and I don't regret buying it. It's a fun game, and I'm going to go back to it when the DLC comes out, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. Were you in the HQ trivia when that was a big thing, that phone game?
No, I don't think I played that one.
Do you remember it at all? It was like a daily trivia show that you could play along with and win money and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like I vaguely knew about that, but
yeah,
when was that?
That predates the podcast. I remember like it was a big thing. I want to say like
2017,
maybe 2017, like? Around that era. Yeah. So basically, it's as I described it. There was a host. He was talking to you live from a studio, and you'd be asked trivia questions. And if you got them all right, by the end of the game, you'd win some money. But it was usually like a real small amount, like $5, $2, that sort of thing. And then when you won $20, you could finally cash out. But, it was so exciting to play along and actually win. Anyway, the reason I bring it up, it no longer exists. They made a documentary about the rise and fall for CNN, and that's available on Max for streaming now.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's nutty because it got so big at one point, and then it just completely went away. So that doc's a lot of fun. Also on Max, the new seasons of Righteous Gemstones just finished up. I think out of all the Danny McBride stuff, this is his best so far. Like, this show is so fucking funny. It's so fucking timely.
I've seen a few episodes of the first season, and it was really funny.
It's really good. Dee told me, I didn't know this, but Dee was telling me that Danny McBride is also a writer on the recent Scream movies. So he's partly responsible for that. Oh,
he did the Halloween. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what
yes. He's the producer and one of the writers of the newest Halloween trilogy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool. Branching out.
Yeah. I think he's going to do something else, but I don't remember. Is he doing the new Exorcist movies too, or is that just? I'll look it up.
Okay. They Clone Tyrone, that recently came out on Netflix. It stars Jamie Foxx and John Boyega. It's a great movie. It's not going to be what you think it is, and it's hilarious. It's a wonderful film. I don't want to say anything else about it, but you should watch it. They Clone Tyrone on Netflix. My Adventures with Superman. That's that new Superman animated series that came out.
Is it good?
Listen, I like Superman. I know you love Superman. I know you're a big fan.
I do. Yeah, he's my fave.
I was not the biggest fan of the Superman animated series that came out around the time that the Batman animated series came out.
Yeah, Batman gets all the love and the credit.
Yeah, I thought it was a little dry. I thought it was a little stiff. I feel like that version of Superman didn't really come into his own until the Justice League cartoon. Yeah. When he was given something to do, when he was given a team, when he got to actually stand up and fight these huge, superpowered beings he could really let loose. I thought that version of him was great. But this down to earth and somehow bombastic version of Superman, it's like an anime, and it works so well. You have romance, you have action, you have magical girl transformations, you have his mom, who is the sweetest chubby old woman and just loves him so much and wants to take care of him and make sure he's safe. Listen to me. this will make a Superman hater love Superman. This show is so
Aw.
good.
Is it on Max?
It's on Max. It's on Max, and it's on Adult Swim of all places.
Okay.
So yeah, you can check it out on Max. I think it's 4 episodes deep right now. I don't know how long the season is, but it's already been renewed for a second season.
Oh, that's awesome.
Don't let anybody talk you out of this. It's really good.
No,
It's getting
I'm
my feeling
excited for it.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some of the stuff I've been checking out, and I'm sure there will be much more.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing that I've watched recently that I had a huge impact on me and that I loved, like everyone else, is The Bear. You know?
Oh yeah.
Particularly because that whole show is about grief, and is wonderful. And, you know, yeah, it was the right time for that show for me, you know?
Yeah.
So I love it.
I'll say this, and I mean it with my whole heart. Anything that features Ayo Edebiri, I'm in. You tell me she's on a show, that's all I need to know about it. I'm watching the show.
Yeah.
Because she's great. Every time she's on the screen, she does a fantastic job. She's funny. She brings emotion. And she just picks good projects, you know? I mean, she's been on The Bear. She's been on Black Lady Sketch Show. She's been on, of course, Abbott Elementary.
Kayla told me she writes for she has written for Big Mouth and What We Do in the Shadows too.
Oh, wow. See?
She's incredible.
Incredible. I'm a fan. So, yeah. But yeah, everybody does a great job on The Bear. The way that the second season ended, my goodness.
Yeah.
Talk about being on the edge of your seat. That was a ride.
Yeah, it's a stressful show, but in a good way.
It is.
I think. I think it's worth it. If you start watching it and you're a little bit stressed, unless it's really causing you a lot of problems, I encourage you to keep going, to keep watching.
And if you're wondering why there are so many connections to Community on The Bear, it's because the series creator is actually married to, oh my goodness, who's the lady that plays Britta?
Gillian Jacobs.
Gillian Jacobs, yes. He's married to Gillian Jacobs. So that's why. Yeah. It's kind of like he's saying, he's giving nods to his wife. That's all. Yeah.
When Joel McHale showed up, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then it made sense. Yeah.
I don't want to reveal the big one, the big reference, but yeah. It's good. It's well done. It's not distracting, but it'll distract you if you're a huge Community super fan. But that's all I'll say.
Dean showed up and he was dressed as the Peanut again.
And he did another rap, and it went down.
Payday.
What's Dean got to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So great stuff.
Yeah. Wow. First podcast in a couple months.
I forgot how we ended these. Let's see if I can remember here.
Listen, or don't, whatever.
Or don't. Folks, thank you for listening. Thank you for being patient with us. Thank you to our friends who have joined us in the Discord. We've still been hanging out and talking with you folks over there. Thank you for those who reached out and wanted to know if we were still friends, know if we were still tight, wants to know if we broke up like folks used to do with Outkast all the time. Yeah. No, we're not. But we decided to come back for the kids. So thank you for the peer pressure.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're still together. So
that's it.
No pressure, but you know.
No, but seriously, thank you guys for checking on us and making sure we're doing okay, and tolerating all the various posts I've been putting up of my back porch garden that I'm so very proud of in the interim. But we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep being honest with you, even when we have a bad day or two. Yeah. And we hope that you will continue to join us. And we'll be back doing this again real soon.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for listening, guys. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that's it for this episode. I'm Matt Peters.
And I'm Lex Lutz. Be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
Bye.